Hello, everyone. The visit of China's leader to Russia is taking center stage over most of the other news when it comes to the war in Ukraine. But I wanted to share a few other things that are sort of going behind the scenes that make the situation interesting, to say the least. This visit comes at the time when there's still continuing discussion as to whether or not China is supplying lethal aid to Russia, and there is a very high likelihood that it is. It has been established that China is supplying parts to Iran, which is supplying lethal aid to Russia. Of course, not surprisingly, Russian media is spinning this as China willing to help bring peace to Ukraine. Considering what we all know about what's going on in Ukraine, you can take this with a huge grain of salt. So this is a ticker item that did not make front page news. Understandably, because it is still being investigated. So a group of Chinese nationals has been murdered in the Central African Republic. And there is a question as to who did it. Initially, the blame was on one of the local groups. However, there is some suspicion now that this was carried out by Russia's mercenary group Wagner. I'm not sure if that is true, if Wagner did it, whether this is a gesture of intimidation while Xi is in Russia to show, see what we can do. Doesn't matter how far away you are, we can get you. So I'm not sure whether this is meant to basically get more out of China. We'll just have to see, but it's interesting. And then there is this. After all of Russia's posturing as being this big, powerful nation with the second strongest army in the world, it is incapable of protecting its own citizens and its own military objects. This piece in Washington Post talks about the drone strikes that took place on Russian territory and very obvious acts of sabotage. Two most notable occurrences were a fire at the FSB headquarters that we were told resulted from an electrical short circuit, and a fire at one of the largest chemical plants. More to come.